சொல்லுங்க ராம், ஏதோ சொல்ல வந்தீங்க.
இல்ல இல்ல இப்பதான் சார் 11 o'clock 2 minutes நீங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம் சார்.
யா, நோ ப்ராப்ளம்.
ஓகே சார், சூப்பர்.
ஓகே, தேங்க்யூ. Hi, good morning. My name is NAS Balasubramaniam. People call me NASA. Basically, I am a mechanical engineer, having an experience of almost 40 years in the industry. I joined as a graduate engineer trainee in a big South India manufacturing group, Murugappa Group, Carborundum Universal Limited, and retired as a vice president manufacturing, taking care of 6 units across India in the year 2015. Murugappa Group, Carborundum Universal Limited was a great organization to work, great employer to work with. They gave me tremendous opportunity to learn, work, and execute. I was privileged. Now, when we were working in the previous years, the situation is whenever we talk to youngsters or when we want to take people for higher positions, we would like to check with people saying, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What do you want to do? Now, times are changing, trends are changing. So, it is not the right question to ask, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? The right question to the current scenario is, how do you want to contribute to the society when you grow? So, having helped the industries to work with I have personally grown, helped the industry to grow. Now I am here to contribute to the society. I take this opportunity given to me by Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology for talking about latest trends in electrical engineering. This opportunity was given to me by Abhirami, who is the assistant professor in Triple E in Satyabama Institute, along with her the coordinators Mrs. Pushpavalli, Mrs. Shivagami, Mrs. Geeta, them for giving me these opportunities who are doing the coordination for streaming this program live. I should also thank the head of department Dr. Siva Chidambaranathan and the dean Dr. N.M. Nandita for accepting to give this opportunity. It is a privilege to talk to you people. Engineering is a very age-old branch of science. When we did engineering in 80s, four basic disciplines of engineering were civil, mechanical, electrical, and instrumentation. These disciplines exist ever since engineering became an educational stream. What is electrical engineering? Electrical engineering is study, design, and application in anything and everything related to equipment, devices, and systems which use electricity, electronics, electromagnetism. Electrical engineering encompasses all the specializations like electronics, communication, digital electronics, telephony, mobile telephony, RF and microwave, computers, information technology, both hardware and software, etc., etc., etc. We can go on. But why do you want to see what is the latest trends? Is it because of academic purpose or pursuing higher studies or for sake of knowledge? Last but not the least, for choosing the career path. So what do you want to do? Since I am from the industry background, I would like to touch upon what are the latest trends basically from the industry plus as well as users perspective. Some of the latest trends in electrical engineering are smart grids, electric vehicles, battery for electric vehicles, wireless power transformers, wireless wearable technologies, prefabricated products, artificial intelligence, energy saving lighting technologies, energy storage and better batteries, robotics, IoT in electrical engineering. The biggest challenge in electrical engineering is related to power. Till date, there is no technology available to store electrical energy or power in large scale. The electrical power is used as it gets generated. It has been quite a while whether we are able to generate, store, and power. How do we transmit to the end users? This is where the role of smart grids come into picture. Smart grid is an electricity network based on digital technology used to supply electricity to consumers via two-way digital communication. The aim was to overcome the weaknesses of generated electrical grids by conventional methods using smart net meters. Smart grid uses computer technology to improve the communication, automation, and connectivity of various components of the power network. This allows for bulk transmission of power gathered from multiple generation points. Modern smart grid, smart grid systems has the following capabilities. It can repair itself. It encourages consumer participation and grid operations. Ensures consistent and premium quality power supply that necessitates power leakages. It allows electricity markets to grow and make business. It can be operated more efficiently. Its features include load handling, demand response support. Smart grids provide users with an automated way to reduce their electricity bills by guiding them to use low priority electronic devices when rates are lower. It also helps in decentralization of power generation, allows the individual user to generate on-site power by employing only appropriate method of his discretion. Like I talked about other points in the latest trends. One is the wireless power transformer. The wireless transformer technology can potentially reduce or eliminate the need for wires and batteries. Wireless transmission is useful to power electrical devices where interconnecting the wires are inconvenient. Wearable technology. Any kind of electrical device or electronic device designed to be worn on the user's body is called wearable technology. Jewelry, accessories, wristbands, watches, hearing aids, Google Glass, VR headset are some of the examples of wearable technology products. There are a lot of instruments that are available for health purpose. Body monitor sensors that monitor and transmit biological data for health purpose. The Google Glass is going to be the one of the future products. When we come to artificial intelligence, it's a branch of computer sciences that emphasizes the development of intelligent machines thinking and working like humans. For example, speech recognition, problem solving, learning, and planning are done by this artificial intelligence. 32% of the executives say voice recognition is the most widely used AI in their business requirements environment. Many experts and analysts argue that AI or machine learning is the future. But if we look around, we are convinced that it is not the future, it is already the present. We are connected with AI one way or the other, whether it is Siri or Alexa or Watson. The technology is in its initial phase. More and more companies are investing resources in machine learning, indicating a robust growth in AI products and apps in the near future. Just to give an example, 6 years back, the year 2014, $300 million was invested in startups in US alone. In the year 2018, 4 years later, 6 billion connected devices will proactively ask for the support. What does it mean? Based on the artificial intelligence, they have developed machines can talk to each other. I had the opportunity to visit the Toyota plants in Japan, where they are talking about Toyota cars between themselves will not have any accidents because they will ensure that each car will not collide with each other. And they are also talking with other automobile manufacturers to see that whether this technological feature can be shared with them to see that overall globally the accidents can come down. The future is going to be that at least about 20 to 25% of the current jobs are going to be replaced by AI by the end of this decade. Many routine jobs are going to become extinct. 15% of the Apple phone owners use Sri's voice recognition capabilities. AI is not limited to just IT or technology industry only. It is being extensively used in other areas such as medical, business education, law, and manufacturing. Now, some of the recent studies have revealed that in US they have developed app based on AI indicating or developing to make the laws into the app so that anybody going for any litigation purpose, when they can use this app instead of going to a arbiter, they can get solutions through the app. And they found that the solutions given by the app is much more efficient and as per law compared with what the solicitors give as of today. It means that the app's accuracy levels of giving solutions to the people looking for legal solutions is much more accurate compared with people given solutions. People say that in the next 10 years, people practicing law will come down. We have to wait and see. Some of the other artificial intelligence products, as I mentioned earlier, are Sri. Tesla is one company which is using AI to a very great extent. We all know about Netflix. People used to have heard about Pandora, Nest, Boxever, flying drones, Echo. AI is gaining popularity at a quicker pace, influencing the way we live, interact, and improve customer experience. People might have come across drones. Drones are now extensively for doing, even for small packages to nearby destinations from the warehouses. The drones, what we are seeing in our day-to-day life, is basically we look at in marriage functions, in some of the remote where personally one can go and take pictures of some very critical things. Drones are being used. Aerial survey can be done very effectively. So these are very critical products which is going to help us in the near future. Electric vehicles. If we look at electric vehicles, it is going to be the future for the decades to come. The IC engine is going to be replaced with electrical motor, leading to a tremendous change the way the electric vehicles are run today. All the combustion engines will be replaced with electrical motors. They say that in the next 10 years, 40% of the automobiles running across the world will be electric vehicles. Now, when electric vehicles are used, I think you require more of batteries, electrical batteries for storage of power. Today, the big challenge for the electric vehicle design is the battery design. But already a lot of innovation as well as developments are taking place to come out with different forms of batteries. time immemorial, if you look at engineering, as I said in the beginning, the four basic engineerings: civil, mechanical, electrical, and instrumentation. I think there are tremendous amount of branching out of engineerings from this happened, so that a lot of specialization took place. For the engineers, if you look at what is the future holds for you people, I am already a 40-year old engineering student. What I studied in 4 decades back is not today. What we studied is basic. But what I understand over a period of time, since I have this industry background, since some of the basics are done very much in great details, I think some of the engineers in our generation had the capability to branch it into multiple functions with respect to each division of engineering. Now, when it comes to actually the career, what are the top 10 highest paid engineering degrees? Whether electrical engineers find a place in the top 10 roles, I'll tell you. Electrical engineers will continue to be in any top 10 list even in the future, mainly because it is the basic, and all the other forms of engineering have branched out of this basic electrical engineering only. If you look at the number one highest paid engineering is petroleum industry engineers, maybe about a year back. It will continue to be so maybe in the 1 or 2 years more, but then the requirement of petroleum itself is going to have a big change in the coming days. And the second best highest paid engineer is the electrical engineer. If you want to know the remunerations these engineers get at the entry level as well as once they gain experience, I'll give my mail ID at the end of the session. People who have clarifications or doubts can ask. I'll clarify them personally. So the second highest paid engineers are the electrical engineers. Next comes the computer engineers. Computer engineers were occupying the number one position 5 years back. Today the scenario has changed. Fifth one is chemical engineers. Sixth one is materials engineer. Seventh one is biomedical engineers, nuclear engineers, environmental engineers, data engineers. Is data engineers are in the 10th position as of today. It's a question of time. I think data engineers, I'll not be surprised, will occupy the topmost position maybe in the coming years, because data is going to be the future of. Everybody is talking about data. So how do you manage the data? So data engineers requirement is going to change. The next this thing is the artificial intelligence, where machine learning experts, where they should be strong in programming R and Python. If you are good in that, I think you have a very bright future. You should have a good statistical knowledge. You should have the ability to convey complex data into non-technical insights. If you do that, I think you can be in the top 3 in the next 5 years time. Blockchain developers. These are going to be the future engineers. Now, having touched about all these subjects, I would like to share what is the industry expectation and the current scenario of students coming out of the college. Actually, in the recent past, maybe in the last 5 years, when we just look at fresh talents getting into the industry, the industry requirements are changing, the individual expectations are changing. So it is always going to be a challenge with respect to meeting one's desired requirements. Industry is also having a disadvantage, individual also is having a disadvantage. So what is a better way to bridge this gap? Now, the scenario like what we are going through now, the pandemic, no one expected this is going to happen. It's going to have a big change in the coming years. So it is no more going to be an individual or single skill that is going to help the engineers for taking care of the future. Engineers have to start multi-skilling themselves right from their start of the career. So it is always better to have more knowledge, more skill, so that you have the option to choose your career path. More and more work is going to be done sitting at home. If someone has said this, we would have laughed at. But today, the situation has forced us to relook things. Technology is helping or taking things directly into the rooms of the individuals. So at their own convenience, people can learn their own pace also. So it is very important that people learn as many skills possible to choose a career. So the industry expectation is the candidate should at least have the basics, a fair level of understanding. Industries recruit people for attitude. People can be trained wherever you go. It is the attitude that is going to help the individual to flourish. So it is very important that we have this positive attitude towards anything what we are looking at. Today, nobody expected that each and every one of us will be locked down in their home for 60 days in our lifetime. So if we take this as a setback, then it becomes a challenge. But if we take this as an opportunity to learn, then it helps the individual to grow. So I have learned in the last 60 days that option in front of me is I can sit idle and while away my time doing nothing, or contribute what you can do. I have started contributing at my personal level to some of the industries, training people for soft skills, leadership skills, technical skills. Some of the programs I have done going to the industry, some of the programs that was before the lockdown. Some of the training programs I have done online. So it is very important that each and everyone's role has to be understood very clearly by the individual to see what is that they can do best for the society. See, in any engineering, it is a knowledge. The question is, with the knowledge available, what you are going to do. It is important that you start using the knowledge. So, what is the meaning of using the knowledge? What is the help now you can do with the knowledge you have? So, first acquire the skill and knowledge, then start using it. So, it is very important that this is to be done very, very diligently. Many things we have to persevere. We cannot just like that leave because the situation is not good. I think one quality what we will be definitely looking at the current generation is the perseverance quality. One is attitude, other one is this perseverance. Whether you'll do it or you will continue and complete the task without leaving at it in between is very important. So we will be looking at the people coming out of the college with the right attitude. So one can ask, can somebody find out in the 10 minutes or 15 minutes interview what the individual is knowing or what is the type of skill or knowledge he is possessing just by asking some few questions. I think people should understand science and technology has developed to such a great extent that people can understand by the tone, by the way you behave based on your body language, the way you communicate, they can find out what sort of an individual you are. So if you ask me whether people can find out in 15 minutes everything, the answer is no. But I will understand at least some of the basic traits of the person. So it is very important that people exhibit these individual traits wherever they go. Now, lot of people working in IT industry are having a computer science degree or electrical and electronics degree or IT degree. You'll be surprised there are civil engineers, mechanical engineers, electrical engineers also working in IT industry. So, as I told you earlier, it is the attitude that determines. The industry is looking for whether the individual is possessing the learning attitude so that he can be given inputs to learn. So the interviewer's challenge becomes limited to find out whether you are a good learner. So that is what we are actually looking at when we go for interviews. Your educational skills may help to a certain extent. Your grades, what you have achieved during your studies may help to a certain extent. So it can help you to go for higher studies, can help you to grow into getting into doctorates. But when you start coming to looking for careers for work, I think it is a different ball of game. Now all the trends what we talked about, these are all acquiring skills and knowledge. Now people have proved over a period of time that acquiring skills and knowledge is by training. But the basic attitude has to come from within. If it is not there, we will have this challenge. So the individual has to decide now what is that he wants to. So as I told you, what do you want to contribute to the society when you grow? You want a clean environment? What is that you can do? Here we are not talking about what is the route you will follow. What is the route you will pursue? What is your basic thing now? What you are looking at? So it is important that you have this basic attitude of first skilling yourself, acquiring knowledge, and then contributing. So contributing society does not mean that growing personally to some good positions. Yes, this is also required, but at the same time, are you doing something good for the people around you? So that also has to be kept in mind. Now, in the industry, people would have seen IT industry growing to a very fast growth, maybe in the last 15 years. Today it is peaking out. So it means that every industry will have this challenge. One point of time, automobile was growing huge. Today, it is now in a downward trend. How many years it will take again to come back? I do not know. The future, when they say the electric vehicles hit the roads, many of the jobs will be redefined. You people must be knowing an ordinary automobile car which has about 4,500 parts is getting converted to into just about 20 parts only when you make an electrical car. It means that lot of components are not required. When components are not required, material consumption is going to go for a big change. When material consumption go for a big change, the requirements are going to change. Steel consumption has to come down. I am starting from the steel production. Steel production, which is used various forms of steel, mild steel, cast iron, so many things. Now will come down because many parts that are being made will not be required. Your crankshaft, your engine will become a thing of the past. What I am saying is changes are continue to going to happen. So how do we equip ourselves to manage the change? It is only by keeping our eyes and ears open what is happening. How do we change our skill levels to match the requirements? It is up in our hands. Now it is a normal practice. No, see, as an industry person, I have this the inner this thing from moving from I started with the latest trends in electrical engineering. But as I see that the industry requirements know that the latest trends will continue to be changing, because if you see even the lighting, which is almost about out of the total power generation across the world, 20% is used for lighting. Today the lighting industry, where the bulbs are manufactured, is going for a big change from an incandescent lamp to a CFL lamp to a LED lamp. Now, what it basically does, or it gives something more with a lesser power, the same illumination. Incandescent lamp 40 watts is the power consumed. The illumination it given by the 40 watts incandescent lamp is given by a 5 watts LED bulb. So it means that is the type of changes we are talking about already happening. Now the future is going to become more and more micro, and people are going to get skilled for this micro engineerings. I didn't touch about robotics. Robotics is going to have a big change for the future, because many jobs done by humans are going to be replaced with robotics, where AI will play a very great role. So as an individual, one should realize that, look, I'm just completing my engineering degree. So what is that I should do after completing my engineering degree? Should I pursue my studies for further for more technical, or I branch out into more management area? It is up to the individual to decide. But even there, I understand today technology can help. It can understand the individual's strengths and weaknesses. There are apps and tests available. What is that you can be good at? So if you use that, I think it will help you to pursue your studies, or whether you can start getting into a career immediately, or you can become an entrepreneur, where you can give opportunities for various people. Today I think the emergence of more and more entrepreneurs after the lockdown situation, mainly because industries will have big challenge in giving employment opportunity even for the existing people whom they are already employing. So it means that more and more jobs are going to get replaced with either by AI or by automation or by robotics. But the human requirements are not going to change. So people should not get worried that if I don't get this job, what do I do? I think as human beings, we are all better off compared to machines. After all, whatever the innovation, AI, intelligence, or robotics, what we talk about, these are all actually machines. Machines, as a personal note, I can say can do sometimes better than humans in certain aspects, but not all the time. So human beings I always consider a superior uh, uh, creation by God compared to what we are talking about, because these are all our creations. It is not created by God. So our creation. So it means that it is the individual's human brain now that is doing all these changes. So the people who are coming out of the colleges should not have any worry, because what we are going through will continue to be there, but at the same time there are opportunities also going to be available all the time. So you keep your minds open. Don't get what I'll say depressed into, look here, I should get into like this, but there is a change, what should I do? I think that is not going to be the situation. I think like we said, when the because of this pandemic, the business opportunities in India are going to increase. If you just read some of the recent trends, China may be the big manufacturing hub as of today, but already companies from Japan, US, Europe have started moving out some of the companies to other parts of the world, where people are eyeing India as the next destination for doing their businesses from India. So it means that it is going to give us good opportunity. So be confident, be energetic, persevere always, have the right attitude. Try to learn at least 2 or 3 more skills at any point of time, which will always help you when you start growing into your career. With this, I close my normal speech. I once again now thank Satyabama Institute of Science and Technology for giving me this opportunity. I thank Mrs. Abhirami, who has done this coordination for this live streaming of this program. Uh, I should be failing in my responsibility if I don't thank the man behind who has made this streaming possible, is one Mr. Ram Kumar, Abhirami's husband. He used to be my colleague when I was working in Karborandam. I also thank other coordinators and the HOD and Dean of Satyabama Institute for giving me this opportunity. As an experienced person, I once again suggest that for doing all this, one has to be healthy. So be safe, be healthy, and be positive. Very important. So please follow all the government guidelines to stay healthy. Thank you. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity. My mail ID is, can you please note down? Or you can ask your coordinators also. I have given my mail ID, but please note down. Balasubramaniam. I will spell